So here's what's going on. We are combining our favorite class in the world, geometry, and stuff that we've done this week, and we're putting it together to make a really crappy, weird baby. So the first thing I want you to do is on your little graph, I want you to put your little dots, right? Graph this bad boy, right? And here are your points. Nice and easy. Here are your points, right? Hi, Marina. So here's where this is going to get a little weird and a little dicey. We're going to get good at it. We're going to do number 2 together as a group, and then you're going to try number 3 with your table group. So here's what we want. Everyone got their dots on there? Everyone's got their dots? Maybe go ahead, label your dots. That might make things easier. Like go ahead and call this bad boy 0, 2, right? And I think this guy was 6, 6, and I think this guy is 8, -2. Is that cool? Okay. So we are going to be writing the equation of a line. That's what we did last week. We did this action, right? Our answer is going to look like this. Y equals blank x plus blank. That's where we're heading. That's where we're heading. And we need 2 things to do that. We need a point and we need a slope. Now this problem gave us the point that we're going to be using. We're going to be writing the equation from A. That's the point that we're going to be using. So we're going to eventually use this dude right here. But we need a slope, right? And it gives us this hint. It tells us we're doing what's called an altitude. And an altitude looks like this, right? Now, medians hit the middle of the line. But an altitude did a very, very specific thing. There's a really specific relationship between this red line and this red line. And you might be able to see it up there if I did it decently. Can they dig in their little thinky brains and think way back 3 years ago, what do altitudes make? They make a very specific kind of angle. They make a right angle. In other words, these dudes are perpendicular. So here's what I want us to do. We're going to use this dude and figure out his slope, and then we're going to perpendicular pirate it, right? We're going to flip it and negative it, and then we're going to use it in this guy and use this guy to help us. Is that cool? Are we ready to do this? Okay, so here's what I want you guys to try to do, and then I'll do it with you. First thing, find me the slope of this line. How do you do that? You got 3 options. 1, if you want to go old school, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or Mrs. Tarantino's way, 6, 6, 8, -2, then you're just going to change, right? Remember this from last week? Or if you're super lazy, you could just count it. How many up do you go? How many over do you go? You do you. Right now, with your table group, find me the slope of B to C. Find the slope. Pick a method. This is not new. This is what we did last week. But it seems like it was a hot minute ago. I heard that. That was awesome. Don't forget the Y's are on top. The X's are on the bottom. That is the slope. Did you get -4 or -4 over 1? Is everybody okay with that? Now, here's what. Altitude is perpendicular. We don't want this dude. We want to torture him. Tell me how I can torture him. What do? Reciprocal and change the sign. 2 things. So we're going to take that -4 over 1 and we're going to flip his ass over and stab him with a little stabby knife. So now he's going to be -1/4 or 1 over 4. We take that slope. We want the perpendicular slope. Yes.
Why do a perpendicular slope and not that slope?
because we want to write the equation of this dude, and he is perpendicular to this dude. That's what altitude is. Because the definition of altitude is lines that are perpendicular. Awesome, awesome. We're almost done. We're almost done. Guess what? I got to use that 6. I got to use that 0,2. I got to use that in here, right? So guess what? You do you. Do you want to do it this way and plug in 2 and 0? That would be easy. Or do you like this? Y minus blank equals 1/4 x minus blank. You do you right now. Finish this problem up. Write the equation of that line. Here's a hint. You already know where it hits the y-axis because it hits the y-axis. Right? So do it with your neighbors. Nice, nice. I'm looking around. I'm seeing some nice answers out there. Nice. No, you don't have to do the math. But here's what's nice. If you do the math, you'll get the same answer. So I just don't want anyone to panic if they do the math. It totally works. Yeah. So here's what I got as my final answer. Woo! How did you do? Can I see a wiggle of fingers if you got that? Okay, my lambs, here we go. With your neighbors. With your neighbors. We're going to try the third one. This time, the point we're using is B. I'll go back up and show you those points again. And the line that gives us the slope that we torture is AC. So we're doing the altitude. Altitude means we're doing perpendicular. So we're going to take this dude and we're going to torture his slope. I am. Try this one on your own. Let's see if you can do it. This is tricky. This is big stuff. I'm impressed with you. Because I feel like it's been a long time since I see. I made actual notes for yesterday, and I'm giving you those today. The stuff that's on the back here was for the other class. So we'll get to that tomorrow. I'll get you all caught up. So this is for today. Yep. Yes. Those are the 2 points that I need to get the slope from. So I'm going to go 0,8. Write that right now. No, it's negative 2. And C is negative. Well, actually, we're not going to change. There you go. There you get. Negative 1/2. That's it. That's it. Plus 2 is the slope I'm going to use. So I'm going to y equals 2x plus b. Beautiful. Yep. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Y equals 2x plus minus 6. How you doing? Better. I was like, you paid hard. Yeah. And you got math like wow. You got math. Yeah, my daughter, mama, she said, negative fast for the first 4 days. Yeah. Really like a sucker. Yeah. Yeah. So now we need 6, 6 for our x and y.
What is this, right? You have this B, right?
You are handling me
The X and Y.
Okay, how we do? Yeah. I might not have a lot of time to do it because I need to double up, but I'll come over. Okay, so normally I'm going to give you the answer. It is y equals 2x minus 6, right? Nice, you don't even need me. I'm not going to take a lot of time on it because I really am cramming 2 lessons in one. So I just gave you 4 little graphs. We are heading back. Let me get this back up again. This is now the new stuff, but you're going to be like, wow, this new stuff is really easy. So here we go. Do I want to say this? No. There we go. Which one goes? We already did that in my other class. Okay. Here it is. So, here's what. So we have really one tiny thing to add. Today was supposed to be, or yesterday was supposed to be kind of a review to get your brain going back again. If you were absent on Friday, it is really important that you watch the video on how to do piecewise. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to see if we can bring it out of our head. I want you to ignore this stuff right now. That's the new stuff. And you're going to be like, oh, that's super easy. I'm going to be like, yes, it is. But let's go back and remember how to do piecewise on your little graph. Are you guys cool? So here we go. I'm gonna help you on this first one. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this dude in, right? Those are my axes right there. Okay. So nice and easy to do this. Remember what we're doing here. This is from 2 days ago. I dropped my pen somewhere. So here's what. This really means y equals 4. And that really means y equals -3. Remember? Okay. Yes. I have no more. Does anyone have an extra note? No, but I'm putting it in my notes. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's what. Remember from Friday, this is that weird boundary line. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in that weird boundary line. I'm going to go, hey, weird stuff is happening right here, right? And then this is the thing, if we have a pencil, we might have to do some erasing, but some of you are going to be such pros at this today, you're going to be like, I don't even need to erase. Okay, so we're going to start by graphing this guy. That's y equals 4, right? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to graph y equals 4. So I just go to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, put a little heart, and I draw it in. That's our line. But this guy tells me I don't want everything. I just want the stuff on this side of my boundary line. Remember that? So I'm going to use my little eraser. I'm going to erase what I don't need. Then we're going to do the same thing for -3. This is just a recap of what we did on Friday. 1, 2, 3. Here's my whole entire line, but I don't need the whole entire line. I need everything going this way from my little boundary line. So I'm going to get rid of this. Now the last thing we have to determine is they're not allowed to share a point, right? I can't plug in and get 2 different answers. So either this guy gets to keep the dog, right? If there's a couple that splits up, or keep the point, or this guy does. And how do I tell? I look at this right here, and it looks like that -3 has the line underneath, so he gets the dot, and he gets the open dot. Are we okay with that? Everyone's thinking, yeah, I kind of get that. Now, here's what's new. Oh, you're going to love what's new. This all looks scary, but it's super easy. It's saying, let's plug in some numbers for X and see what we get for Y. And you're like, Mrs. Tarantino, why is that new? We've been doing that before. Because sometimes we're going to use this dude, and sometimes we're going to use this dude. So watch what happens on the first one. We're going to plug in -1. So I'm going to go to -1, and look, I go, oh, he hits right here at 4. The answer is 4. Nice and easy. How about when I plug in 7? Do I get 4 again? No, you know why? Because now I got to go to this dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that time I go to that dude. How do you know? You go to where your line tells you to go. So it's going to be down here at -3. Oh, good question. I love that. So I'm just going to do these ones real quick. Jace told me this is going to be -3. I'm going to get another -3. Jace wants to know what happens at 0 because I get 2 answers. It's why? Because it's got the closed dot, right? So yes, they overlap. Who gets the dog? The guy with the closed dot does. So it's going to be -3. Now here's what's crazy. -pi, that's a crazy number. You know what that is? That's like -3.14. I don't even need to be exact. I just know it's somewhere around here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, a little bit more. Doesn't matter because look where it hits. It hits right there at 4. So don't let the fact that it looks scary fool you. The graph is your friend. The graph is your friend. Is that cool? You guys want to step it up a little bit? Look, someone just said no. I heard that. That was me. That was me. Okay, I'm going to let you graph this. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start you off. You are graphing this bad boy. This one's going to be a little bit tricky. Here's our barrier right here, right? So remember, you're going to graph the line and then erase what you don't need. Graph the other line, erase what you don't need, and then we're good to go. Take a minute, give that a try. This is what we did on Friday. And again, if I'm doing this and this seems totally like foreign to you, there is a decent video on this from Friday. That one I did put.
Dana.
Yes. Oh, you slept in the, yeah, you're on your own for this, but okay, I'll help you with this. So here we go. Yeah, our so first one, y, x plus 4. Okay. So we're going to start this at 4. 4 with that, up 1 over. Yep, keep going. And draw a nice little line in there, really lightly. Nice. Yeah. Keep it going all the way down, dude. Good. Okay. Now we have this barrier thing happening right here at 2. Because that's what this tells you. It wants this, it only wants a piece of this guy. It wants everything that's less than. So I put my little barrier in, meaning I don't want this part up here. I just want that bottom part. Yes, exactly. There you go. Right. And then you do the same thing here. Highlight forever. It's got an arrow, so just a little arrow. Beautiful. Now this line is at -2. Go -2. Go this way. Right? But watch, keep going. Go ahead and keep going, keep going. We only want the stuff on this side of the barrier. So what am I going to erase? So here we go. I'm going to start 1, 2, 3, 4. I am throwing this guy in. Got a dot here. I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. I want everything less than the barrier. So my line is going down here. And at the barrier, open dot. As you get better at these, you can do the dot right as you go. On the next one, we're going to go to -2. It would go like this, but, oh, I want a different color, so that's crap. I'm going to go to -2. I'm going to go like this. Melissa and I were talking. We don't need this piece, right? We need everything on that side of the barrier, solid dot. That's what our graph looks like. If you want to get rid of the barriers, you can. They're not really part of your graph. They're just helpers. That's what our graph looks like. Now, here's what. When we do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we go down to this guy. -2. When we do 0, we go up this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we do -1, 1, 2, 3. When we do -2, 1, 2. Ooh, 449. I'm not counting out that much, but do I need to? What is everything going to be on that side? It's going to be -2. Beautiful. And that guy is scary looking. You know what I'm going to do? I just know I'm using this guy, right? Because negative is this side. So I'm just going to say -14.4. Thank you so much. Plus 4 is going to be -10.4. I can use the graph or I can use the little equation, whichever is easier to do. Yeah? Yeah, talk to me. Because you took this guy, and I know I'm going to use this guy right here. Does that make sense? Because I know it's negative. So I just put in there, and I added 4. Yes? Because we're going to do some in a minute, and we're not even going to do the graphs, because screw the graphs, right? But we got one last graph one to do. There is going to be a 3-parter on the test. So here we go. We have not done a lot of these. We'll do another one tomorrow, right? So here's what I know. Let's start by drawing in our axes, right? Here it is. Boom, boom. Now watch what's going to happen here. I am going to have 2 barriers, right? I'm going to have a beginning one right here at 0. That's one of my barriers. I'm going to have another barrier at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to be, so some of it's going to be on this side. Some of it's going to be in the middle. And some of it's going to be over here. So you're going to have to do some erasing, right? Give this a try. If you guys got this, I will be super impressed with you because we just talked about this a minute on Friday. And then the trick will be, which one of those dudes do I use for my evaluation? I am lucky that a class I missed is a smart class. Because genuinely, I'm shutting 2 things at once. While you're doing it, I'm going to be up here doing it. See if you can check yours on mine, right? Ooh, -2, everything's this way. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to put a nice open dot right there. It's going to look like this too. Next one, it's going to be -2. Oh, and this one's a little tricky. We're going to talk about this. And over 1. And last one, we're going to start at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go down 1, over, down 1, over, down 1, over. I'm just going to keep on going forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Got a little craziness happening right there. Do you know what happens there? They share the dog, right? So it's a solid dot, but you know what? It turns out in that case, yeah, it's closed for him, but it's open for him, but it's closed for him, and so we close it, right? Because it's like, you know, she said, I don't want the dog, you take the dog. He's like, you know what? You can babysit the dog. So points. If they share a point, it closes it up. Yeah. Because here's what's kind of cool. It means that, here's what's interesting. If I want to plug in 0, I get -2. If I plug it in here, what do I get? -2. So that's what I'm saying. It's a rare one where it could go, they share the dog. Good question. You know what you could also do on this problem? Boom. That would be correct as well, right? I love that. How does it look? How did you do? Let's go ahead and try plugging in. So we're going to plug in 7, right? I'm going to go all the way here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm hitting it 0. Say that one?
The third one, which line is that?
This guy right here. So it was way up here at 7. And I went down one, over one, down one, over one, down one, over forever. And then I erased a bunch of it. 0 is going to be -2. I'm going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. I'm going to be 5. And I'm going to go up. Is it 2 again? Is that right? Tell me that's right. Did I get that right? Yeah. 200. Now here's the thing. I don't want to plug in 200. It's too big. I don't want to do it on my graph. So I have to look up here and think, you know what? I'm not plugging in 200. So instead, I'm going to use one of these. How do I know which one? Well, anything that's bigger than 5, I use that guy. So I'm going to say, okay, 200, -200 plus 7, -193, right? So my point is going to be in a minute, if you don't want to use the graph, you could just use the equations. And the final last one is 1. I don't know why I did that one. Is it 1? Is it -1? Am I off? Yeah, it's up 1 over 1. I'm just dumb. Yeah. My graph is crap. Don't judge me. Last thing, and then I'm shutting up. Holy crap. I would not want to graph this. Look what's on here. Squares, square roots, which are little like comet graphs. A line. I actually did graph it because I'm a weirdo. I'm going to show you what the graph would look like. You would not be required to do this in pre-calc. Maybe someday. Where are you, dude? I want you to come back. Hold on. I'm so proud of this little graph. So look, that's a crazy graph. That's some crazy gypsy magic happening there. Like, look, I got a U, I got a little shooting star, I got a line. That's crazy. But you know what? I don't even need the graph to do the math. And that's what we want to talk about here, is I want to just plug in. The key is I got to know which of these dudes to use. So check this out. I'm going to put a little A here because you're going to help me. You guys are going to help me. I'm going to put a little A here. I'm going to put a little B here. I'm going to put a little C here. So here's what I want you to realize. If I'm plugging in anything less than 0, I'm using A. If I'm doing anything between 0 and 4, I'm using this dude. And if I'm doing anything bigger than 4, I'm doing that dude, right? I don't even need that graph. Screw you, crazy graph. So let's start off with -4. Do I use A for -4, B for -4, or C for -4? What do you guys think? A? Yeah? Sure, because it's negative. So I just take my -4 and I plug him right in. -4 times -4 is 16. Take away 2. Nice and easy. 14. Okay, let's try the next one. What if I was going to plug in 0? Ooh, that's a little trickier because I got a 0 here and I got a 0 there, but I can't use both of them. Do I use A or do I use B for that one? A, sure, because it's solid line, right? So here I go, plug in 0, 0 squared. It's going to be -2. Oh, that looks like a 3. How about if I am plugging in the number 3? Where do I do that guy to? B, right, because it's in the middle here. So 3 take away 3 is just 0. Nice and easy. Ooh, another tough call. I got 4. He's got a 4. He's got a 4. But only one of them gets it. Is it B or is it C that gets it? It's B. So 4 take away 3 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1. And here's what's crazy. 19, nice and big, nice and scary. I'm plugging it in. So easy. If I'm plugging in 19, what comes out? 19. So easy. So my point is, You don't even have to use the graph if you don't want to, as long as you're careful and use the right equation. That is 2 lessons in 1. You guys are awesome. We have one thing to do tomorrow before we do our review. We review all day tomorrow. I don't teach you anything else. You guys did awesome. I'm going to give you your homework. And we're done. Yay for us. Goodbye, Marina. Feel better. And